Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 841. Title of today's lesson is Common Error When Reading Roman Numerals. This especially happens with ESL students, English of a Second Language. When to add the article the and when not to. Yeah, a lot of ESL students don't even realize they should add a the, and they have to be told when and how it's used. All right, so when reading Roman numerals after names like kings, queens, popes, etc., they're the most common, it must be read with ordinal numbers. Remember, ordinal numbers are like first, second, third. Not 1, 2, 3. Those are cardinal numbers. So not cardinal numbers. And must be read with a the article. This is one of the trickiest parts for ESL students because there's no hint at all that a the should be there. We don't write the but you know that you're supposed to just read it with a the. All right, let's continue. All right, so why do we do this? I guess we often use the to emphasize a specific one. So it's the 8th. So which King Henry? The 8th. Not the 9th, not the 10th, or not the 4th, not the 5th. The 8th, the specific one, this specific one. That's probably why they do it. All right, and here's examples. So, for example, if you see it written out as King Louis, and, you know, of course, this is the Roman numeral for 14. Sometimes students will mistakenly read it as King Louis XIV. No, you should actually read it as King Louis the 14th. You have to use a the because it's a king. It's after a name of a famous person like this. Or the same thing here, King Henry. So if a student read it wrong, they may read it as King Henry VIII. No, you have to read it as King Henry the 8th. You have to add a the. Even though there was no hint for the, it's expected. That's the way you read it. Native speakers just know this and just do it naturally. All right. Pope John Paul. Now, we don't read it as Pope John Paul II. We should read it as Pope John Paul II. All right, it could be read with regular people if you had like 3 generations or even just 2 generations where they have the same. Actually, 3 generations is better because if it's just 2 generations, they may use junior and senior. Like, for example, Martin Luther King Jr. But if you have 3 generations of where the father and the son, I guess, and the grandson all have exactly the same name, you may have to use a Roman numeral. This is a character from the very old TV show Gilligan's Island. His name was Thurston Howell. So again, it would be wrong to read it as Thurston Howell III. You should read it as Thurston Howell III. And just to show you, in other situations, not with names, like with movies, for example, you know, Spider-Man 2, Iron Man 3, you know, we don't use, we use cardinal numbers. We don't use ordinal numbers. So we use cardinal numbers for a lot of other things. You might use cardinal numbers for sports, you know, Super Bowl, I don't know, 45, for example, or, you know, iPhone 10 or 12 or 13 or whatever. So for products, we still use the cardinal numbers. And we just have one example here, World War II. We don't say World War II. These are not names. These are not kings. These are not popes, etc. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was very informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.